And now, okay, this is where, deep breath, for me and you. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. That was housekeeping and logistics. We're going to switch now to my other hat, right, where I get to tell you about some of the great kind of cutting-edge news, breaking news elements of the conference, and then we'll get on to the content here. So the state of the IIIF universe in the few minutes I have left here. Well, this is sort of a meta piece here, but right, reflection back at you. So there are 250 participants in this conference over the 5 days of what's happening here, from the Monday showcase through to the end of the conference on Friday. 250 different people who've come to this event from 21 different countries represented at the showcase, 24 different countries ostensibly sitting here in this room. So I think that means if you look to your left and look to your right, you're as likely as not to see somebody, right, from a totally different country. So just a really exciting way of seeing how much the IIIF community has grown and really, truly globally expanded. And so this is another view into that, right? So this is a map that is as current as I can make it, which means that it is inevitably out of date and missing information. But it shows the implementations that we're aware of and the consortium members that have joined through yesterday. So the blue is the consortium, the red is implementations that we know about. Shout out to Jack Reed, who took this data and made it a more elegant map than I would have made it. So just really exciting growth. You can see some growing hotspots, but also just increasingly a set of dots around the world. We have a number of new members who've joined since the last conference that happened in Washington. We have 55 members of the consortium as of yesterday, or a few days ago. And I'm particularly happy to announce 2 new members who've joined. So Kakadu Software, I think Graham is actually probably in this room here. There he is in the back. So Graham from Kakadu Software and the Blavatnik Foundation Archive recently joined as associate members. So that's quite exciting. So continuing growth on this front, and the full list is there available at that website. In other news front, this is also quite exciting. So we, and I say we, really, the editors and the folks on the technical review committee are the ones responsible for this. But they have pushed through to the beta finish line the 3.0 version of the image and the presentation specs, which is quite an achievement, right? This has been a long time coming. And so it's very exciting to see it in the beta status. And what that means to us is that it's really ready for implementation. There may be small typographic corrections or other small things that we correct, but we believe that this is ready to be implemented. And importantly, in order for us to get to the final release of this, according to our own kind of governing principles, we need to see implementation. So we won't implement a spec that hasn't been implemented in part, at least in different parts in different places, in some way or another. So yeah, please help us out on that front, or let us know if you're working on it. So another bit of news I'm excited to be able to announce to you here today. So this was fully covered and approved at yesterday's executive committee meeting, but we're going to be adding a third position to our small but mighty staff. So we're going to add a community support and events coordinator to really round out. I've been calling Glenn and myself a trio for a long time, but that's been awkward. So to make that a true thing, we're going to add a third position. So I wanted to let you know that's hot off the press. So I will be working through a job description as soon as I can, but please spread the word. It's already ready for you to start letting folks know about that opportunity. So I'm going to leave you with these calls to action. As you're kind of sitting here absorbing all of the great information that we have today and in the coming days, I hope you might think about some of these elements that you can take home with you and work on potentially back at your own home institutions, right? So one of them is really helping us and letting us know and communicating with the community through the email list or Slack or whatever is available to you about work on the 3.0 specifications. As I just mentioned, we have a position open, and so we're excited to spread the word as far and wide as possible. So if you're familiar with someone who might be interested, please refer them to us or get in touch with us. I'm happy to share information as soon as we have more details on that front. Of course, joining the consortium as a full or associate member helps make these events possible, helps us do as much as we can to really activate the best things happening in this community and then help promote them around the world and to different audiences and support local and regional events all around the world. And on that front, I'll say the last one, but if you have any interest in hosting a regional event, we have a pretty good package of ways to help you do that. So we've seen tons of folks, and Glenn, I think we'll mention a few of these a little bit later today, but hosting a regional event really has been a great way to activate a local community of practice around IIIF and make that really work. And finally, we have a really robust set of community and technical groups. Glenn will go through the update on each of those groups a little bit later this morning. But if you're not already involved, we encourage you to get involved and really help us get as many eyes on these different ideas as possible. Okay, another deep breath. We'll go for a black screen for a few seconds here. That's all I have for you. I think we're going to dive right into some of the content of the morning. But once again, thank you so much for being here, and I'm happy to have you all in this room.